Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm Muhammad Saidul Islam Shorkar, again in front of you to discuss about an important matter. Nowadays, it's a very important discussion that is about plasma therapy. What is plasma? What is plasma therapy? What is convalescent plasma therapy? What are the facts of convalescent plasma or convalescent plasma therapy? So these are now a very important talk. It's a very hot talk in our country and throughout the whole world during this novel coronavirus pandemic as a preventive measure for the treatment of COVID-19 patient. Plasma therapy nowadays is very important matter for the doctors, for the community, to prevent this COVID-19 in the current time. It's a very important discussion, and it's a hot talk in the society. What about plasma? What about the therapy? What about the convalescent plasma therapy? How can it be used? How much will it be used? Is it safe? What about its efficacy? So there are a lot of conversations in the society, in the social media. So we need to make it clear what is plasma actually, what is plasma therapy. Is it effective in case of the prevention of novel coronavirus? So side by side, I will discuss this plasma therapy. Today I will discuss the basic, it's a very preliminary of plasma therapy. What is it actually? As COVID-19 actually continues to wreak havoc across the globe, researchers are trying and scientists are racing to develop antidotes for the novel coronavirus. Researchers are trying, scientists are racing to develop some prophylactic, to develop some antidotes for the treatment of COVID-19, for the treatment of novel coronavirus infection, which began infecting humans late last year. The novel coronavirus, which began infecting human beings in the late last year, in the late December 2019. So scientists and researchers are exploring various avenues, various sites to come up with medical treatment, to come up with central decision, to come up with central census that can fight against the novel coronavirus. One such treatment that is in focus right now is convalescent plasma therapy. That means researchers and scientists are exploring different avenues, different ways to come up with medical treatment that can fight against the novel coronavirus. And nowadays, one such treatment that is in focus, that is in light, that is in our front, known as convalescent plasma therapy. This therapy is not a new actually. This therapy has been used in the previous diseases, in the previous different pandemic. I will discuss this in my next conversation. So the therapy has been used experimentally in the past, and so has become a ray of hope in the fight against the novel coronavirus pandemic. We are searching for, scientists and researchers are looking for. That means we take a look at what convalescent therapy is. the benefits and the risk involved in this potential treatment, what past research says about it, and more. We just want to know. A scientist wants to know, researcher wants to know what about convalescent plasma therapy, what past research says about it, what are its benefits and what are its risks, and a lot about plasma therapy. Actually, it is too soon to say for sure. It is too early to say for sure that the recoveries will be added by this therapy. But the doctor overseeing this treatment says it's a hopeful sign. That means it is really very early. It's really very soon to say for sure that this therapy will be effective enough. This therapy will be added a lot of recoveries after the end of this therapy. But the doctors community are saying that it's a hopeful sign for the treatment of COVID-19. Researchers are investigating right now whether the therapy is useful, or whether the therapy is useful in treating immune system disorder. I mean, researchers are investigating right now whether this therapy is useful in treating immune system disorders, and potentially shape future trials as a new treatment, or potentially shape future trial of new treatment specific to COVID-19 right now. That means researchers are searching, researchers are investigating whether this therapy is beneficial, whether this therapy is useful in treating ISD, I mean immune system disorder, and potentially shape future trials as a new treatment, potentially shape as a future trial of new treatments specific to novel coronavirus disease treatment. So about plasma, about the facts of plasma is very important for people. So first of all, we should know what is plasma. Plasma, actually, plasma is a often forgotten part of our blood. We know about blood. We are talking about blood. We are talking always about the donation of blood, or donation of platelets, but we don't know about the donation of plasma. It's not very talking matters. It's not a very discussing matters within we people. But plasma is also important, like platelets, like blood. So plasma is often forgotten part of our blood. The fluid of our blood that can carry all components of our blood throughout the body is known as plasma, actually. And what are the facts? What are the actual matters about plasma? Plasma actually is the largest part. We don't know that plasma is the largest part of our blood, and it makes up more than half of our blood. It makes up more than 55% of its overall content, our overall matters within the blood. Blood is a liquid part, is a clear. When separated, the plasma is very clear look like, and it is a light yellowish fluid, yellowish liquid in our blood. And blood, what are the facts of blood? Blood are what about plasma? Plasma carries blood cells. Plasma carries waters. Plasma carries salt and enzyme throughout the body. It also take part for carrying hormones. It also take part for carrying nutrients and some proteins throughout the body. And one important thing, cells of our body sometimes put waste materials in the plasma, and this plasma then carries this waste to remove from our body. So plasma is a very important part of our blood. Plasma carries nutrients, hormones, proteins throughout the whole body. It carries salts, waters, enzymes, blood cells throughout the whole body, and it's the major part. It makes up more than half, 55% of its overall contents, of all its overall contents of the blood. So plasma is a important liquid. It's a yellowish color liquid, and it carries all components of our blood throughout the body. In a word, plasma carries all components of the blood towards our bodies. So very important. Now what is convalescent plasma? What is convalescent plasma? That is it's a very clear yellowish liquid, makes up about half of our blood volume, carries red blood cell, white blood cell and platelets towards all parts of our body. If I go to say about plasma or convalescent plasma, when someone recovers, in this context, plasma therapy, when someone recovers from a virus, their plasma contains a specific protein called an antibody produced to fight the infection. So what is convalescent plasma here? When someone recovers from a virus, their plasma contains a specific protein which is known as antibody, produced to fight produced to fight against infection, novel coronavirus infection. Convalescent plasma is the antibody-rich plasma. Convalescent plasma is the antibody-rich plasma of someone who has recovered from COVID-19, who has recovered from a virus, that is, in this case, COVID-19. The disease caused by novel coronavirus. So this is convalescent plasma, antibody-rich. Here, antibody-rich plasma. Investigation is currently underway whether convalescent plasma transfusion could improve a COVID-19 patient, could improve the situation of a COVID-19 patient, could help improve the symptoms of the COVID-19 patient, speed up recovery and chances of survival, to supply this therapy to the hospitals more widely. That means investigations are currently underway to understand whether convalescent plasma transfusion, whether convalescent plasma therapy can improve the situation of the COVID-19 patient, speed up the recovery and chances of survival of the COVID-19 patient, to supply this therapy to the hospitals, to all the hospitals more widely. Convalescent plasma is collecting, convalescent plasma is taking from COVID-19 recovered patients for use in trial and looking at possible treatments for COVID-19. That is, convalescent plasma is collecting from a COVID-19 recovered patient in order to use in a trial and looking at possible treatments for COVID-19. In this case, it is important to know donors must have recovered properly, and their body have had minimum 28 days to develop a good antibody response. That is, the convalescent plasma will be collected from a COVID-19 recovered patient. So that patient who will be a donor for this convalescent plasma, he or she should be recovered properly, and their body must have have had 28 days, better to have 28 days after recovery to develop a good antibody response. Otherwise, there will have some questions about their donation. So now, what about plasmapheresis or plasmapheresis? I mean the process of donating plasma. What is the plasma donation process? Donating plasma is similar. We should know donating plasma is similar to giving blood or platelets. The safely taking process of plasma from a COVID-19 recovered patient is called plasma pheresis, or safely taking, simply if we say safely taking process of a plasma is called plasmapheresis. Like platelet donations, your blood will be circulated back to you after having plasma removed. I mean, your blood will be circulated back to you after having plasma collected, after having plasma taken from your blood. Simply, we know a patient who has recovered from COVID-19 can give 500 to 600 ml of plasma. That is, if I say accurately, it is about 560 ml, equivalent to 2 units of blood. So one patient can give 560 ml of plasma from her body at a time, and your blood goes into a machine. Your blood goes through a machine, and that machine will separate your plasma, and the rest of your blood will be back, will return to your body, and it will take about 45 minutes time. So there are some machine, no need to take the whole blood, then it will be separated from the blood components. Nowadays there are a machine that can be collected plasma directly, and the rest of your blood and the rest components of your blood will go back, will return to your body, and will be circulated back to your body. It's a very easiest, it is very easy process. And simply to take 560 ml of plasma from your body, it will take only 45 to 50 minutes. I think it's a very easy way. So it's all about the plasmapheresis, or the taking process of plasma from a patient body. Now I will discuss about what is plasma therapy. What about plasma therapy? What about convalescent plasma therapy? Several countries are seriously looking. Several countries are seriously searching seriously looking at plasma therapy as a potential treatment for COVID-19, the disease caused by the novel coronavirus. Plasma therapy uses blood donated by COVID-19 recovered patient to introduce antibodies in those who are suffering from COVID-19, who are COVID-19 patients under medical treatment. That is, convalescent plasma uses plasma therapy uses blood. Plasma therapy uses plasma therapy uses antibody. Plasma therapy uses blood donated by recovered patients to introduce antibodies from the blood in those who are COVID-19 patients under some medical conditions. The convalescent plasma therapy aims at using antibodies. Convalescent plasma therapy aims at using antibodies from the blood of a recovered COVID-19 patients to treat those who are critically affected, who are seriously affected by the novel coronavirus. The therapy can also be used to immunize those who are at high risk of contracting the novel coronavirus. For example, healthcare workers, for example, doctors, for example, nurses, for example, family members of the COVID-19 patient, and some other high risk contacts. That means convalescent plasma therapy have a aim of using antibodies from the blood of recovered COVID-19 patients to those who are seriously affected, who are critically affected by the novel coronavirus, and also to immunize who are at high risk of contracting the novel coronavirus. For example, for taking care of the COVID-19 patient, in this case, doctors, nurses, and technicians, technologists are involved with this process. So, not only for the treatment of the COVID-19 patient, this plasma therapy can also be used for those people who are in contact with the virus, who are in contact with the COVID-19 patient, who especially doctors, nurses, technologists, family members of the COVID-19 patient. So it's very important matter, and different countries are looking at this plasma therapy to use this as a potential treatment for the COVID-19. The therapy's concept is very simple and is based on the premise that the blood of a patient who has recovered from COVID-19 contains antibodies with the specific ability of fighting the novel coronavirus. The therapy's concept is very simple and based on the premise that the blood of a patient who has recovered from COVID-19 contains antibodies. Their plasma contains antibodies with specific ability of fighting the novel coronavirus. The therapy is that I just want to make it more clear. The therapy is that the recovered patient's antibodies. The therapy is the recovered patient's antibodies once ingested into somebody under some medical condition will begin targeting and fighting the novel coronavirus in the second patient. That means the therapy is that the recovered patient's antibodies once ingested into somebody under medical condition, under medical treatment, will begin targeting and fighting the novel coronavirus in the second patient. The convalescent plasma therapy is akin to passive immunization, as according to researchers, it is a preventive measure and not a treatment for COVID-19, the disease caused by novel coronavirus. That is actually plasma therapy. Actually, it is a preventive measure. It is actually not a treatment for the COVID-19, because we know there is no vaccines, there is no medicines, there is no medication actually right now to treat the COVID-19 patient, to treat the COVID-19 this is the disease caused by the novel coronavirus 2019. So this plasma therapy actually if I say it's not a treatment, it's a preventive measure for the COVID-19 patient, for the immunization of the technologists, for the immunization of the doctors, for the immunization of the family members of the COVID-19 patients, and for the immunization of the people who are involved for taking care of the COVID-19 patients. So we need to know about this plasma therapy very very well. So we should stay informed, we should stay animate, we should stay attentive, acquainted, we should stay sentient and sensible about this plasma therapy, and we should aware on the latest development about COVID-19. We should stay conscious on the current development of COVID-19 vaccines, COVID-19 medications especially. We should stay watchful on the update of plasma therapy. We should stay watchful on the efficacy of the plasma therapy. We should stay watchful on the correct use of plasma therapy as a preventive measure. So we should know this plasma therapy very well. We should aware, we should stay informed about this plasma therapy. We should be very cautious about the use of this plasma therapy for the betterment of our recovery, for the betterment of our patients, and to keep ourselves, to keep our family members, to keep our neighbors, to keep our countrymen from this novel coronavirus pandemic. So no more today, I will come in front of you to discuss on another part of plasma therapy in the next video. So till then, I wish to be safe. I wish you a safe life, to stay safe from this COVID-19 infection. So no more today, more when we meet again with some other important talking on plasma therapy, inshallah.